On the weekend, Victorian State Liberal MP Moira Deeming attended a rally in support of British women's rights campaigner Kellie-Jay Keen, otherwise known as Posy Parker, who is delivering public addresses in Australia specifically saying that men can never be women and that men who believe men who believe they can be women endanger women. Until recently, this was a perfectly uncontroversial thing to say. But the rally was interrupted by a group of men dressed in black doing Nazi salutes. Their presence has, according to the way the incident has been reported, tainted Keen and Deeming by association, which was too much for Deeming's leader, Liberal leader John Pesutto, who now says her position in the party is untenable. Quote, "This is not an issue about free speech, but a member of the parliamentary party associating with people whose views are abhorrent to my values, the values of the Liberal Party and the wider community. The Liberal Party I joined and which I am now honoured to lead must strive to represent all Victorians." Pesutto also accused Keen of associating with known Nazis and other racists. This afternoon, Deeming appeared on Avi Yemeni's Rebel News, categorically denying the allegation and said to Pesutto, "I hope you have a good lawyer." She also said, "Moira is standing up for the safeguarding of children. You're supposed to be conservative, for God's sake." Unquote. Well, there's another mystery about those Nazis at that rally on the weekend. It's arguable that Nazi salutes incite or encourage hatred, which is against the law in Victoria. So why didn't the cops arrest them? It's not as if Victorian cops aren't famous for their arbitrary application of the law when it suits them. Could it be that they didn't want to arrest the men because doing so would have revealed the men's true identities? Yet this is the hill on which the state Liberal leader is staking his credentials as a defender of freedom. There is resistance to Pesutto's move in the party room, and Deeming has said she will oppose the move to expel her. There's also some speculation that his leadership is now tenuous. But his resignation or departure would hardly be reassuring. At the risk of sounding nostalgic for the 1980s, Nazis were simply seen as sad losers back then.
I hate Illinois Nazis.
And they still are sad losers. We just stopped seeing them like that. Similarly, Western civilization was seen back then as being the freest, as being the freest and most prosperous in history. It also still is. But fewer and fewer people in the West realise that these days. We won the Cold War last century by eventually convincing the Soviets that Western liberalism was superior, which it is. But in this age of Western narcissism and identity politics, nobody's buying it anymore.